Hey, y'all. That was obnoxious. Oh, howdy ho, all y'all. 4 tips I have for what? Floor plans. Whether you want them or not, they're coming in hot. Oh, that rhymed. So floor plans, that's what we're talking about. I have 4 tips. There's lots of tips. I have 4 of them. These are 4 things that have helped me and are currently helping me to design and modify my floor plan on the fly. So I was lucky because when I bought my Skoolie, I had a self-imposed, unavoidable 8 months where I couldn't work on my Skoolie. I had purchased my bus. It was sitting here in the cornfield, but I was in San Francisco. I couldn't, I had to wait. I had to wait 8 months. And it's excruciating. I spent literally hours a week researching Skoolies, watching YouTube videos like this silly one you're watching right now, designing my floor plan, redesigning my floor plan, researching hot water heaters and solar systems, everything under the sun, because I was just so excited, but I could not come work on it. And while it was frustrating, I am so glad that I had that amount of time where I could not come work on my Skoolie. Dogs eating critters. What is that? I think it's a squirrel. I am so glad that I had this time because the floor plan that I started with, so many of the plans that I started with changed for the better over those 8 months. And that unavoidable time that I had to spend just planning was really, really, really valuable. So I'm really glad that it happened that way. So tip number one is this. Think about what you want, what you need, and what you can do without. I spent a lot of time thinking, like, do I need a dishwasher? No. Do I want one? Yes. Do I have the water capacity for that? Yeah, probably. Do I have the electrical capacity? Well, it probably can't run off of the solar system, so it had to go. The one thing I still haven't decided on is my washer. But how much space do you need for your bed? Do you need a queen? Do you need a twin? Do you want a full? Do you need lots of space in the bathroom? I have a big shower, I have a big kitchen. The one thing I don't have is a big bathroom, but you know what? A lot of people can't say that they can wash their hands while taking a poop, and I can do that. So that was a priority. Tip number 2 is this. Tape it out. I bought electrical tape. I taped out every room of Earl in my tiny little apartment in San Francisco. Sorry, I've got pages blowing all over the place. It is cold and it's so windy. But don't worry, I got my dead cat on my mic, so we're good. That's what it's called, a dead cat. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh boy. Right, tip number 2 is tape it out. I taped out my floor plan, actually not this floor plan, but the floor plan about 17 floor plans before this one. I taped it out in my little studio apartment in San Francisco. I taped it out on the floor so that I could get a sense of, what it felt like to sit and stand in each room of my Skoolie. I taped out the kitchen so that I knew what it was like to stand at the sink. Could I get to, what was it like to grab something from the fridge but then go to the chopping board? Like I wanted to know what it felt like to actually live in the space. I also wanted to know if I was going to feel super claustrophobic. And that was something that was really important to me. A lot of people ask, am I going to cover or take out any of the windows? I am not going to cover or take out any of the windows for 2 reasons. Number one, unless you can do like a legit automotive paint job, I have yet to see, and I'm probably about to make some people real mad, but I just have to be honest, I have yet to see a Skoolie who have taken out windows and covered them where it didn't look a little low rent. Oh, I'm gonna get comments about that. But unless you can do a legit auto body paint job, I don't know, it always looks like a school bus with windows taken out and like metal put over it. I mean, you know, even if you paint it the same color, I don't know, it's really hard to make it look good, make it look sharp, make it look clean, and so that was number one reason why I opted against taking any windows out. The second thing is, I flippin' love the windows. It is so cool to be able to stand or sit in Earl and you can see in every direction. There's so much light coming in. I love all the windows. So I really did not want to get rid of them if I could avoid it. Why did I get on windows? Why am I talking about windows? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, tape it out. You want to know what it's like. Oh, claustrophobic. I also, that's why we were talking about windows. I also really wanted Earl to feel open. I wanted as few places as possible where there were walls and windows were blocked. And so I really designed him with as much openness as possible. I think I have a total of 3 or 4 windows covered, which they'll have like curtains down, so they're not like covered. Well, they are covered. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I have like 3 or 4 windows that aren't open or can be opened and like looked out of. And that was really important to me. I really wanted an open floor plan. A lot of people, out of necessity, you know, especially if they have kids, they have to, you know, maybe they put bunk beds along the sides, which is awesome. It's amazing. I mean, it's wild to think that a family with children could live full time in one of these. They can, but you know, that necessitates some narrow passages, and if you need to, you need to. But I wanted to avoid that if possible. So anyway, tape it out. Wow, that was long-winded. Tape it out, y'all. Tip number 3. This is probably better shown instead of talked. So real quickly, I'll just say that tip number 3 is to consider the infrastructure of your bus. And this is probably the most important tip, because you have to consider things that you can't change, like wheel wells and support beams for you know, walls and ceiling, for wall framing, water, you know, water down and out, water drainage, you know, water pipes, stuff like that, water tanks, all of that stuff you have to consider. If you're doing a solar system, where's that going? Battery storage, for the solar panels on the roof, where can you drill? Where can you not drill? You can't just drill everywhere. So that's really important. So let's hop inside and outside, and I'm going to show you a few of the things that threw me for a loop, because I thought I did have very close to this floor plan finished, but there were things once I got here that I had to change because there was a gas tank in the way or a wheel well in the way, things that couldn't be moved. So you definitely have to consider the infrastructure of your bus, and that will dictate a lot of where things go. Okay guys, so what am I talking about when I say things that can't be moved? Maybe it's obvious, but if it's not obvious, let's go through a few of them. Number 1, right here. This is the gas tank fill. My gas tank is filled right there, and it kind of awkwardly comes up through the floor, and there's no moving it. And as you can see, it was here on the edge of where my shower turns into my floor, and I had to adjust. Number 2, exit doors. So my exit door is essentially blocked. It's not completely blocked, but it is kind of blocked. But I still wanted to be able to get out somewhat. So that's dictated how my bed was. My bed was originally going to be across the back, but I did not want that back door completely blocked. So that's what I did. Next are these bad boys. This bus, and I think almost every bus, is a series of these. They're really intense steel beams. They come all the way up and over and down. They continue down between the windows, and they are welded to the chassis of the vehicle. So as much as possible, I tried to frame my walls directly to these because they are really, really, really sturdy. Some of it couldn't be avoided. For instance, here, I had to extend this one out. Luckily, it's still super sturdy. But this one also had to come out a bit so that my bathroom door was wide enough for my big bum to fit through. Not everyone has a side exit door, but this side exit door really threw me for a loop. I got it worked out. I figured it out. But it definitely dictated where my kitchen went. In fact, I had to switch my kitchen to the other side because of that door. I foolishly thought it was on the other side before I came back. And, you know, that was fixed. Next thing, wheel wells. There's one there. Here's another one. There's two more in the back. Why? Because the school bus has 4 wheels. Actually, they have 6. Well, mine has 6. 4 in the back and 2 in the front. So those are the inside things. What outside things? So I have 2 storage bays. One on this side. Pretty big. Pretty cool. Decent size. Currently has some just junk in it. But eventually it will be my only outdoor storage bay. Here in the back, there were 2 heaters. One was mounted under here. You saw me take it off in an earlier video. The other one was mounted here on the other side, right there. Those were taken out so that my gray water tank can go there, and I'm also mounting my generator on one side. But that was really important for me to figure out plumbing wise, which I haven't done my plumbing yet, but to make sure that there was a spot behind the wheel well where it could go. This one over here, this storage bay on this side, is my solar system, which is not done. It's just kind of temporarily, not temporarily, I mean, it's definitely installed, it works, it's like functioning. But as you probably recall, I had a tragedy when my, oh man, I can't get this shut. What the heck? I'll be right back. Oh, I don't know why that was so hard. I got it. I'm sure you all remember the great tragedy that was me losing all of the solar system install footage, which I will do it again at some point, but it's kind of overwhelming to think about doing all of that, which I'm not going to install it again, obviously. But I do need to, you know, make videos, and I will. I'll do it. So those are the big structural things. Yeah, my last tip is to be flexible. Things are going to change. You're going to start working, things are going to change. In the process of working, you'll change your mind. You'll run into obstacles. Like I said, you'll run into wheel wells you can't move, gas tanks you can't move, things that weren't exactly as you expected, and you just have to be flexible, and you have to be ready to make changes and adapt, because I guarantee I guarantee you are going to run into things that require you to be flexible and make changes. So be flexible. So this is my floor plan right here. I would love to see everyone else's floor plans. I wish there was an easier way to do this other than just buying some ruled paper and drawing it out. Not that this doesn't work fine. Actually, one of my very favorite YouTube viewers, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but they were considering doing some floor plan work for people who are building Skoolies, because he does like AutoCAD design, CAD design. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of talking out of my bum. But I don't know, if he did that, that would be awesome, because I would have paid him some money, because this was kind of a pain. Anyway, I'm rambling. Goodbye. Oh, hi. I couldn't help but overhear you saying how desperate you were to watch more YouTube videos. Well, you can. Subscribe here. You won't miss a thing. Or watch my film, Once Is Enough, right here. Or just click here. Watch another video.